Hi, I'm Mikata, and this is summary of my Angelic set Assassin. In BTDiablo, the Angelic set is updated, it's buffed a bit. You can see the weapon has more damage, the armor has faster run walk and damage reduction. The amulet and the ring are more or less the same. The full set bonuses are also updated and improved. I decided to do it the following way. Each time I kill a boss, I put one piece of the Angelic set. With this setup, it turned out that I can clear Player's 8 content pretty easily. So all the footage in Normal and Nightmare is on Player's 8. Not my usual, oh, this boss, I can beat this boss, let's put it to Player's 1 so it's faster. Everything is Player's 8, start to finish, Nightmare until Nightmare. It turned out that Blade Sentinel is really strong with the updated weapon for the Angelic set. It was smooth cruising. I beat the normal game in 4 hours and 30 minutes on Player's 8, which is a personal best. I don't think I've done it quicker than that. You can see Baal as well. This is the first interesting drop, so I was starting to have some magic find from the Angelic set. And this did something different for my playthrough. Usually I don't check that much the loot from the monsters because I have lower magic find for the regular monsters, and I put a lot of magic find only for the bosses. But this time it was different, and it was not only the bosses who gave me loot, but the regular monsters. After Nightmare and Dariel, it was time to upgrade the saber to a Shamshir, which further improved my damage. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a pull rune on my playthrough, so I remained with the Shamshir until the end. In Act 3 Nightmare, a String of Years dropped, which is one of the few GG items that I found on a playthrough in BTDiablo. I imbued this Luhaber X, which turned out to be really insane with a lot of damage. The quest Mephisto kill was nothing special. I hoped for a bit more from Mephisto. Just like my Hellforge, just a shell rune, nothing special. Then I had to Diablo, and again it was another decent Player's 8 fight, I cannot complain about it. And while I used the Magic Find potion that I equipped for Diablo, I went and killed back Mephisto once again, and this time the drops were way better than the quest drops. So I got this Plague Bearer, which is an upgrade for my Rabies Druid. Also, on this run I found this insane shapeshifting skill with life. Final fight for Nightmare difficulty was Baal. Unfortunately, the drop wasn't something special either. In cow level, I started to notice a trend. No longer the monsters were dying with 1 or 2 hits from the Blade Sentinel, so my damage started to lack a bit. So here I am, level 74, for just when I got into Hell difficulty, with 39% damage reduced with the Bulwark, the Fate. And this is a clip of the kill speed of Player's 8 in Hell difficulty Act 1. So you can see that it is doable, but at this point it started to fall behind big time. It took me a few minutes to clear this zombies pack. Of course, zombies are one of the beefiest monsters in Act 1, at least, maybe in some of the other acts. I went to see how the Countess will go as well. I hoped to get first time pull rune so I can upgrade further my Angelic weapon. Unfortunately, that did not happen. Very poor runes from the Countess. And we got to Andariel, which, once again for the nth time, There's 8 Andariel on Hell turned out to be quite a lengthy fight. Yet again, still doable. I was sending my shadow to suicide missions and trying to cast blades from the distance. Then I got to my favorite Maggot Lair, where my computer decided to give up. You might have watched the short clip about this one that I was sabotaged. When I saw how my damage lags, I decided to go back and try Countess to find a pull rune to upgrade my weapon. So I tried, and I decided to give up and to get a pull rune and to try to upgrade my weapon by another character, just to see how it did. Unfortunately, another Maggot Lair when I struggled a lot and my computer crashed for a second time while I was trying to get through. So this is a clip of my clear speed with upgraded Angelic weapon. For me, it is not that different from what the monsters from the zombies monster pack was in the previous clip. So the health upgrade of the weapon was not very significant. And another clip of another beefy monsters. These maggots also die pretty slowly. And third time, this was around the time when I started to question if it is possible to do player's 8 playthrough with the Angelic set. And the last nail in the coffin was Arcane Sanctuary. The biggest problem with this build was the lack of elemental damage, so I couldn't handle the immune to physical rats in Arcane Sanctuary. So I tried, a couple of deaths. I even respect into a Trapsin to see how it goes, still on player's 8. While I was able to get through some of the packs, it was still really challenging, really scary, really difficult. So I gave up that idea. And just as my fellow YouTuber Darklin has sang it,
yeah, I tried with you, but I guess it's better your way.
So I got back to players 1 in Hell difficulty, just to get through this challenge run with the Angelic set. So more or less the Duriel on players 1 dies with the same speed the zombies and the maggots did in the previous clips when I was on players 8. When I got to players 1, I downgraded my weapon again, so I put back the pull rune that I got. Just mentioning, this is one of the couple Berserker helms that I got. Just the game is just trying to tell me something about that set. In Upper Crust, I found this really amazing Skin of the Viper Magi 31 Ores. Unfortunately, it did not fit this challenge playthrough. Mephisto gave me a chef's stop and Immortal King's Will. The Hellforge disappointed. Again, Lumrune, not terrible, not great. Another challenge, as I mentioned already, was Infector of Souls, who was immune to physical. And in this stage, my role was to be the crowd control for my shadow who applied and had elemental damage. So I was using the knockback to keep the monsters by the wall, so the shadow can apply the elemental damage. The whole Diablo fight was okay. Nothing interesting from the drops, unfortunately. In Act 5, I had another close call when I save and exit on few hundred points of life. And this is the second time I get Berserker's headgear. That set is also updated in BTDiablo, so stay tuned for that. One of the rare cases where I did Ancients from the first time. So I just tried the first spawn of the Ancients. The aura was just lower resist, so I went for it. Despite some of them being stone skin, extra strong, etc. I did it from the first time, so this is really a rare occasion. And the next big challenge was the Throne Room. That was one immune to physical. This is second immune to physical boss that night, and this is the third immune to physical that night. So each of these took a few minutes at least. In BTDiablo, the World Stone Chamber has some additional mobs, which makes it more challenging, just as the mod suggests. And I really like this change, otherwise the Baal fight is just long and tedious. My damage with the blades was rather low. I was not applying enough crushing blow from my gloves, so I respec into Martial Artsin with Tiger Strike and Dragon Talon, so I can apply more crushing blow from my gloves. So I put the rest of the points in Fade, and this time the kill speed improved significantly. So the numerous hits, the numerous kicks were great improvement for this fight. And there goes Baal. Unfortunately, no interesting drops. I respec back into Blades and try to see how will do cows. It was doable. It's not like my other video where the fully geared assassin clears players 8 cows. It was decent. Maybe traps with Dead Sentry is way more efficient than using only the blades. So, sword, armor with Ral rune, couple of rings, and an amulet. Bulwark, mainly for the damage reduced. Gloves for with knockback that I was switching with crushing blow gloves. String of Years, I found this one rather early, so a lot of damage reduced. I was using also Fate for the majority of my health part. Tear Haunch for the random stats that they provide. Rhyme Shield. Charms, a couple of Magic Find charms, and the rest is all life and resists, just as usual. On swap, I still was using a teleport staff. Stats enough to wear the Angelic set and the rest in Vitality. Skills. For the majority of this playthrough, I was a Bladesin. I'm really surprised by Blade Sentinel and the amount of damage it outputs. From the beginning of this playthrough, I've been relying mostly on the Blade Sentinel. It is a really nice AoE. I was underestimating this build and this set. There is decent attack rating for the Blade Sentinel, and for the Blade Fury, just not a question. 20 points in Shadow Master. This was my crowd control. And that's my build and that's my playthrough. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you'd like to try to check my other assassin videos where I try different fully geared builds, you can try one of these too. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.